It's about rolling back the covers of religious stuff and saying, here, you know, because that's what God did for me. And He sent me a bunch of different places to learn pieces of things to come to a total, because you couldn't get it all in one place. You know? And I know Daryl, with Calvary Chapel, we started way back in, geez, I mean, 1969 for me. You know, I was with, you know, Lonnie Frisbee and those guys like that, and then Odin, you know, came along and different those guys, and you know, we did some concerts together in the 80s, but I did concerts before that, you know, with a lot of people. We had a place in El Monte called the Geisha House that was closed down for prostitution that God gave us for a minister. And we went in and tore the runway down that the women walked up, and you know, in a couple of months, you know, we had a bunch of people in there, and
turned that place around.
Yeah, we had the bands come in and play and everything. Yeah, Trish can remember
so
going there.
awesome. That place was awesome.
And it was like a nightclub inside, you know, and had the waterfalls and all kinds of stuff like that. And so we would teach the word and stuff like that, and then we would do street ministry, and we would baptize them in the Rio Hondo River, you know, and stuff like that. And you know, it stopped the drug traffic at El Monte High School. We had prayer circles. Well, most of the guys that were in El Monte High School were at Outreach, you know. And I mean, it changed lives so much that the parents came and said, "What have you done with our kids? They are so nice and so obedient and so, you know." And so then the churches come and they want to take over, you know. And I'm going, you can't take over. This is the thing. God sent us here to do this, you know. We'll come to your church and bring the kids if you want to see what they're like and stuff and hear their testimonies. But God sent us here to do this, you know. That it's what we're supposed to do, you know. And so in our lives, finding where our gift is, and then finding how we're supposed to use that, because you don't get a gift that you're not supposed to use, you know. And so finding that place where you can go use that gift in the way you're supposed to use it, and God has places for you to use your gift, but you got to get in that place where He can do that. And Acts Creative is a place that this has all come about in the last 2 years, and it's going to be a place like that, with people giving their town, a lot like the 60s, you know, without the drugs, you know. But I don't have anything against anybody. You come here as you are. You know, I don't care what you are. You can be a drug addict, you can be whatever. God is stronger than all those things, and He'll help anybody that wants help. And so anything that any of you want to say to that, feel free.
Well, you know, I totally agree with you, Ron. A lot of times people are turned off because of the religious attitudes that they've experienced through their life. And, you know, I think about what John said in his gospel. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. And He dwelt among us. The Word became flesh, and He dwelt among us. And this is the key.
Yeah.
The key is He came with grace.
Exactly.
And truth.
Exactly.
And so, what does the world need now more than anything else?
Oh.
Love, grace, and truth.
That's right.
You know, they don't need condemnation.
No.
They don't need. Jesus never kicked anybody to the curb.
Never.
You know,
Never.
the only people that put it in their place was the Pharisees.
Religion.
Because He said, "That he that has no sin cast a stone first."
Absolutely.
They brought a woman to Jesus that was caught in an act of adultery, which they set up, and to trap Jesus. And Jesus
trapped them.
Yeah, exactly.
Became a lawyer.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And who went away condemned?
Yeah.
The self-righteous.
The religious self-righteous.
Who went away forgiven?
Yeah.
He said, "Woman, where's thine accusers? Does anybody condemn you?" No. No, Lord. Well, neither do I. Go and sin no more.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's the key to it. Is His grace is still more amazing today than ever.
And that's you know, to me, the story of in John 3, with the religious man coming to Jesus and saying, you know, you can't do all these things unless God is with you, you know. And Jesus goes right into the thing of, you need to be born again of the Spirit, you know. And it looks like it's a whole different question, but it's not. And so what He's saying is, He's saying to him, He says, you know, your religion is fine, but if you're going to know God and go to heaven, there's only one place to do that, and it has very little to do with going to heaven.
That's right.
Going to heaven has to do with the sacrifice that was made on a cross for you.
That's right.
And it was made for each one of us, and it doesn't, it washes us free of all the condemnation. Because it says in I love Romans 8, it says, for now there is therefore no condemnation or judgment for those that are in Christ Jesus. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has set us free from the law of sin and death.
Right.
And if there's a law I want to be set free of, it's the law of sin and death. Because I've seen people die out on the road. I've seen people die at the racetracks. I've seen them die too young.
Yes,
Too young. You know, because the law of sin and death is out there, you know, and it's looking for you, you know. So every place that we go with Acts Creative, you know, it will have a side that people are community, and we do things because of the love of our gifts and music and those things like that. It will also have the ministry side, you know, where the people that want to participate in that.